It is hour to the game after work. Mitch Fortner, Trey Coverdale, and AJ Shaw. AJ, real quick, a little trivia question. Who was the first overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft?
I'm going to butcher his name, but it's Zachariah Reisher. Is how you say his name, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Rizeshe.
The Celtics didn't do it. They took Antoine Watson from Gonzaga. Lame.
Well, the Lakers are going to probably take him now, you have to think.
Well, yeah, Lakers are now on the clock. I don't know what the Lakers need. Is Bronny James what they should be doing? Or is it just a pick that said, it's just we're getting LeBron's son? So
by the way, Kevin McCullough is still on the board, too.
I thought that might be what the Celtics do, but whatever.
Take McCullough.
Well, they're showing the Lakers war room right now. They're like, man, are we really going to do this? We should probably be going for somebody we need, but we're just going to, LeBron wants to play with his son, so we're going to draft his son.
I went to the same high school as Rob Pelinka, their GM.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he played basketball there before he went to Michigan.
You don't say.
Yep.
Well, coming up here in hour number 2, my top 100 TV theme songs of all time. The countdown continues at 5:40 with 70 through 66. Ask Us Anything will wrap up the show. EA Sports earlier today putting out its top 25 offenses and defenses for the video game when it comes to its rating. Boy, was that a lot more controversial than what we had a couple of days ago with their top 25 toughest places to play.
I'll say.
Sheesh.
Kind of stalling here a little bit just to see if the Lakers do pick Bronny James. Here in just a moment, my easiest and hardest Big 12 basketball schedules based on the opponents, who is playing where, and the home and homes, or how that all turns out. Lakers still on the clock, 2 minutes, 23 seconds left on their clock.
I just want to say this really quick, Trey. I am surprised that no one has contacted Bob Myers yet for a GM job.
I don't think that he wants one right now, honestly.
I would take him on the Bulls I would take him right now. I love Bob Myers. He's kind of boring on ESPN.
Oh, you're talking about the former general manager of the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, he's on ESPN
dude
now.
with the hair.
I had to Google him.
The dude that built the dynasty in Golden State.
Did you also go to the same high school as him?
No, I did not. I don't think he's from Lake Forest, Illinois.
What's the median income in Lake Forest, Illinois?
I don't know the exact number. I can actually look that up for you.
Again, just stalling to see if the Lakers take Bronny James. I'm kind of interested to see if that's what they do. Or
71,943.
That's quite the median income. Probably higher than Manhattan, Kansas.
Well, we'll take a look at Manhattan, Kansas.
A lot of lawyers up there, doctors.
Yes, Manhattan, Kansas, 22,571.
That's pretty low.
Pick is in. Pick is in.
Oh, and everybody's hugging. They're shaking. They're shaking hands.
Where's LeBron at?
I do kind of like those polos.
Yeah, they're
black Laker polos.
Last night they were wearing suits. Today they're like, we want to be more a little comfortable.
Well, it's the second round.
Yep. Kind of like day 3 of the NFL draft. You got the GMs wearing a I don't know, what is it called? Pullover sweatshirt or whatever it's called.
Right now, that guy you're talking about, he's right now talking on ESPN why the Lakers should not go with Bronny James. They need somebody that they could use. Bronny is just, he's going to be picked because his dad's on the team.
Well, they're saying their needs are perimeter shooting and ball handling. They took the perimeter shooter in Dalton Connect, I'm sorry, like the game, in round 1. So
tick, 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 tick. I mean, good grief, guys.
Well, they're having somebody announce it live on TV for every pick.
I'm sure Woj has already tweeted it out, so people have already seen it.
That's a good point.
And they're probably like, we already know the pick. Oh, here's
here it comes.
Deputy Commissioner. The pick is going to be Bronny James.
Bronny James. How about that? Drafted to the Lakers.
Biggest shock in the world.
How would you feel about that if you're a Lakers fan?
If it was 3 years ago, I'd be going nuts when he was a beast in high school. And I will admit, it's unfortunate he had the little
they had the cardiac arrest.
Yeah, cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
That's not a little thing. That's a big deal.
Did not play against K-State in that season opener on TNT.
No, but his teammate Isaiah Collier did, and I believe he went 26th in the draft. I don't know who took him.
LeBron James was not in that war room, by the way.
4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists for Bronny last season.
And he played quite a bit last year, actually. I think that was kind of looked over because he was, first of all, playing in the Pac-12. USC did not turn out to be as good as they should have been.
No.
God, I don't remember how they finished.
They did
15
not have a
and 18.
year.
They didn't even have an above 500 record. Finished 9th in the Pac-12. And I'm just kind of guessing on how many games Bronny James played in, 25 maybe, and he averaged 4.8 points per game. Shot 26.7% from the floor. But you got to take it though in consideration when you're looking at all that he did go through quite the medical issue there back before the season began this past season. A little less, I think it was a little less than a year ago when that took place.
Mm-hmm.
So Bronny James is now going to be a Los Angeles Laker with his dad. How long is his dad still under contract?
He's a free agent this offseason, I think.
So they're going to have to re-sign him, right?
Yeah.
One season and then call it a day if you're a LeBron James?
I guess so.
It's the most LeBron James talk we've had in quite some time on this show. All right, let's get back to the Big 12 basketball schedules because earlier today the Big 12 announcing not the dates, not the times, not the channels these are going to be on, just every opponent that the Big 12 team by team will play in 2024-25. So we don't have dates, we don't have times, but we do know the opponents. For K-State men, home and away will be against Arizona State, Cincinnati, Iowa State, KU, and Oklahoma State. Home only for K-State, Arizona, Colorado, Houston, Texas Tech, West Virginia. The away only games for the Cats, Baylor, BYU, UCF, TCU, and Utah. On the women's side, the women still only play 18 Big 12 games. Home and away, only 3 opponents. KU, Iowa State, Cincinnati. Home only, Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, UCF, TCU, Texas Tech, and away only, BYU, Colorado, Houston, Oklahoma State, Utah, and West Virginia. But looking at the men's side only, I have picked out my hardest and easiest schedules, both overall and also breaking it down, home and away, home only, away only, for hardest and easiest. And I will tell you, this was not easy to do because a lot of these had 3 really tough ones, then 2, it's not so bad. So I had to break it down a little bit further than that, but here's what I've come up with. Let's start with the hardest. The hardest away-only schedule I'm giving to West Virginia. These are the 5 opponents West Virginia will play away only. Baylor, KU, K-State, Texas Tech, and Colorado. Now, I know I'm going to be a homer, obviously, on this, but I truly believe K-State's going to be much better than they were a year ago. They're certainly going to be a contender, top 3 or 4 in the Big 12. They're going to be a good team. I'm taking that into consideration with limited knowledge of what the rest of the Big 12 is going to have based on what I've learned. This isn't going to turn into a preview of these Big 12 teams. But the away-only schedule, the hardest, I think, is for West Virginia. The hardest home-only schedule for me is BYU. BYU's 5 home-only games are the toughest in the Big 12.
Interesting that you have found the 2 extremes in terms of mileage.
Of travel. BYU at home only has Baylor, K-State, KU, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, I'm not sure, really what they're going to be. BYU does avoid traveling to some pretty key gyms there, but that's not an easy home-only schedule. Not at all. The hardest home and away schedule. So these are the 5 teams this team will play, both at home and on the road. The hardest home and away is Iowa State. The Cyclones drew the short straw in this one, in my opinion, because on that schedule, KU, Arizona, K-State, UCF, and Colorado. That was the hardest one to pick because I thought Houston could have had that. Arizona State has a really tough home and away. KU has a really tough home and away. Last year it was KU, and I thought it was quite clear that KU had the toughest home and away. They finish in honorable mention, but any of those four, I think you can argue, has the hardest, but I'm going to go with Iowa State on that one.
I was going to say something and then I completely forgot. I'm sorry.
All right, we'll move on. Let us know if you remember.
I'm sorry about that, guys.
I think, give us some time, but we'll get over it. The easiest side of this.
Mm-hmm.
Easiest away-only schedule. K-State. I think K-State got the easiest 5 away-only games. BYU, UCF, TCU, Utah, and Baylor. Of the top teams in the conference, Baylor's at one gym you're okay with playing in.
Yeah.
So K-State, in my opinion, the easiest away-only schedule. The easiest home-only schedule, in my opinion, is Houston. The Houston Cougars, their 5 home-only games are Iowa State, Utah, TCU, Cincinnati, BYU. That's not bad.
I'm really glad K-State does not have to go to West Virginia. Although I am a little upset they got to go back to Hilton Coliseum because that place has been a living hell for them for many, many years.
My easiest home and away schedule, Utah. Utah has the easiest home and away schedule. These are the 5 teams they'll play, both at home and on the road. Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, West Virginia. West Virginia, I think they're pretty much a consensus top 10 team. When recruiting the transfer portal, did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But with you also throw in a new coach. A lot can happen. I'm more, of course, confident in K-State in that area. They have the same amount of recruits out of the portal, but this is Tang's 3rd year and has his plan quite clear based on last year. All right, so that's the easiest, breaking it down in those 3 categories. Now the hardest overall and the easiest overall schedules for the Big 12 play. You can imagine how this is going to go because I'm going to almost based off the home and away. I think Iowa State got the hardest schedule.
Good.
Their home only is Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, TCU, and Utah. Their away only, Houston, Tech, West Virginia, Arizona State, Oklahoma State.
Oof.
They're going to all the tough places.
Yeah. Oof.
They don't get any breaks in this schedule. They get all the tough road trips.
Good.
The easiest schedule is maybe the worst team in the conference this year. We'll see how it breaks down, but I think they will definitely be a contender to finish in last place. That's Utah. Utah has the easiest schedule. And I think the way this is scheduled, and I've reached out to the Big 12 to see if we can get somebody on to talk about this, but there hasn't been a whole lot of public comment on just how the scheduling truly works. I know there's a scheduling committee and all that. I think maybe Gene Taylor's on that. Can't quite remember. But, some of the scheduling is done by, the pecking order of last year and also projection on how teams will finish in 2024 based on that committee's opinion. That's just what I've heard. I'm not 100% sure about that. Utah has the easiest schedule. Again, they're home and away. Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. They're home only. Arizona State, Colorado, K-State, KU, and Tech. So Bramlage, Allen, United Supermarkets Arena, they don't go to a single one of those. They're away only Arizona, UCF, Houston, Iowa State, and TCU. I mean, you think about that draw as well. Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, they're having the road onlys. If they do turn out to be a good team that could maybe contend for the NCAA tournament, you lose any one of those games, that's not going to hurt you one bit. It's going to be clearly a quad one game.
Right.
There's no issue there. So there's a lot of breaks there for Utah in their schedule.
I would agree that it really is surprising that as you break this down, though, how evenly matched this conference really is going to be going forward. And how much road and away is going to swing the conference race. I'm thinking of baseball and how it played out this year.
Well, and going back to K-State, the men's schedule, it's super ideal. Mm-hmm. A lot of great home games. Mm-hmm. The away only, like I said, I think it's the easiest in the Big 12.
I'm really looking forward to that Houston game in Manhattan. That's going to be a very good game, I think.
I mean, Houston comes to Manhattan. KU, Iowa State, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Colorado, Arizona. They are all coming to Manhattan.
It's going to be good games.
Other than Baylor, you got exactly what you were probably hoping for when it comes to home games. Other than Baylor. But you played Baylor at home last year as a home only. So just, now going back there this year.
Chalk it up as a flip.
Just wanted to mention really quick. Never mind. He didn't get picked. Never mind then. I thought Kevin McCullough had gotten picked. I saw him up there. All right then.
He was picked. He was picked by the Heat.
Oh yeah,
not the Heat. I'm sorry, the Phoenix Suns.
And he's getting traded, I think, to Memphis. I may be wrong though. That stupid ESPN.
Kevin McCullough was picked right after Bronny James.
Okay. Well, two guys that I thought would get picked got picked.
And some dude from Cameroon was just picked by the Grizzlies.
Ulrich Kamachi. I'm not going to try that again.
But now that you tried saying it, you're going to remember that for the rest of your life. When I quiz you a year down the road, I'm going to say who was the 57th pick in the 2024 or the NBA draft. You're going to be able to tell me it was Ulrich Chomchi. There we go. From Cameroon. Who's going to be the last pick, guys? Who's going to the Mavericks?
Let's go Jalen Bridges since he's a Baylor guy, Big 12 guy.
All right, let's take a timeout. More of hour two, and we come back, and it's about college football 25. Boy, did they really put out a controversy couple of lists today. And, man, did they go too far with Colorado. That's up next.
Miss part of the show?
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Really? Check it out on demand at 1350kman.com. You're listening to The Game on News Radio KMAN.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hour two, the game continues. Mitch Fortner, Troy Coverdale, AJ Shaw. Team USA, Copa America Group C play against Panama, tied at 1. We're about 30 minutes in. USA struck first, but a red card on Team USA. An American punched somebody in the back of the head. That'll get you a red card. That'll get you a red.
There have been a lot of folks who have had fun this year during Copa, chuckling about essentially what the differences are between European soccer and what's going on in the Euro versus what's going on in Copa. And they've basically utilized The Simpsons as their ways of making their point. Where, say, for example, Homer Simpson with a French mustache, dressed up in a suit, is Euro, and Mo chasing after someone with a chair is Copa. And I think the punching in the head probably kind of falls into that category perfectly.
Well, you mentioned this during the break that Team USA is going to play in Arrowhead Stadium on Monday.
Monday night.
Against Uruguay, 8 o'clock, FS1. Or you can go to the game.
Basically a good run-through ahead of World Cup next year. Or 26. Sorry, 2 years.
I think they still have to do the renovation to Arrowhead to be FIFA, World Cup standards.
Correct. So they get that nice 70 yards across as opposed to normal pitch for now.
Continue with hour two of the game. Let's see. I thought I had something else to mention, but like AJ, I also forgot what I was going to say. So it's continue on with the...
We're all ready for this week to be over. That's what this comes down to.
Well, looking forward to the extended weekend next week.
Yeah, exactly. See, and that's the point. It's your last full week. It's the last you have to deal with a full week this week.
Going to kind of Pulp Fiction this thing. After what I'm about to say, I'm still absolutely thrilled and cannot wait to play this new college football video game.
Okay.
Today's rankings did not hurt. How much I'm looking forward to playing this did not hurt, the integrity of the game, in my opinion. I don't know how big of college football fans these creators are.
Apparently not much.
Panama almost took a 2-1 lead. I think it's only a matter of time because USA is playing a man down. It's 11-10.
Man, that's a long time to have to play a man down.
You're playing almost a whole match, a man down.
Here's the thing after today's rankings came out. I'm now starting to agree more with Troy's argument that media bias played a role in the development of this game.
I don't get that from the offensive-defensive rankings, but there's one thing I do, and that is they are trying to over-advertise on Colorado. But Travis Hunter is on the cover of the game. They're not about to make Colorado a bad team.
I mean, at least they went Travis Hunter and didn't go Shedder Sanders.
Shedder Sanders? Shedder Sanders?
Shedder Sanders.
I mean, come on, the man is cheese.
He is cheese. Travis Hunter is a beast, though.
Well, when you have two guys that are going to be Heisman Trophy candidates,
one that shouldn't be.
EA is not about to make a video game where that team is crap.
I reiterate, one of them shouldn't be.
So today, EA Sports releases the top 25 offenses and defenses. That's by their overall ratings on the game. Georgia and Oregon are tied for the top offense with a 94 overall, 91 Alabama and Texas. I don't have any problem with that. Ohio State, LSU, Miami, Colorado, Missouri, all tied at an 89 overall, which would make them, tied for fifth best.
You have to think Missouri. That Luther Burden plays a big role in why that offense is rated as high as it is.
When Brady Cook is back,
That's true.
I mean,
there's good reasons there.
A team that we thought would never develop to be a good team or well coached has turned into one. So shame on me for not believing in the Missouri Tigers. But I mean, last year, Colorado, Shedeur Sanders tried to do what he could. He still had a 70% completion percentage, 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Around him, that offensive line was so bad. Mm-hmm. So bad. Now, I'll give credit to Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, that did go to the portal, pretty much replaces everybody with guys that have a lot of potential. Being tied for fifth is way too high, but I'll have my optimism open for Colorado's offense to be decent or good this year. I have a little bit of optimism in that.
Okay.
So I'm not going to trash on them too much, but tied for fifth is ridiculous. Should absolutely not be that high. It's the defensive side that's totally crazy. Totally crazy.
Same team that blew a 29-0 lead at halftime at home to Stanford. Stanford!
Colorado had the worst Power 5 defense last year. Colorado, 127th in total defense. They're 123rd in success rate on defense, 122nd in the nation in third down conversion. By the way, that defense last year that was so bad, they're returning 6 starters. That is a defense. I'd only want to return 1 starter.
Right.
And it's the guy that plays both ways. And as a Heisman Trophy candidate, is on the cover of the game. Mm-hmm. Colorado's defense in the game is rated tied for 18th. You know who else is tied for 18th? K-State.
Yes.
I think what's a little ridiculous is that K-State's offense wasn't in that top 25.
I was a little surprised UCF was higher than them.
Skill position-wise, K-State's going to be more talented. The offensive line, there's still some starters returning, but there's going to be some new faces in the lineup for sure. So we'll see how that plays out. But still sticking with that, the offense should be better than last year. Mm-hmm. K-State's offense was still 23rd best in the nation.
Mm-hmm. With 2 quarterbacks playing most of the season.
Let's not forget that. K-State's offense could put some yards out there. They finished – remember KU's – and KU's offense is actually pretty high in this ranking. And people are like, oh, it's KU. They shouldn't be that high. Well, KU is tied for 10th with Clemson, Utah, Penn State, Ole Miss, Arizona. I mean, if KU is healthy and they're fully intact and they have this offense, I mean, they could be really good.
If Jalen Daniels is healthy, that's the key.
If Jalen Daniels is healthy, we'll see.
I think he's going to be highly rated in the game simply because of the media hype that KU fans have put behind Jalen Daniels.
Well, Jalen Daniels' injury keeps KU last year out of a New Year's Six bowl. Let's be real about that.
Yeah.
And a Big 12 championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
Kept them out of that.
Still have Devin Neal.
Still won 9 games last year. Devin, I mean, pretty much all of that offense is back this year. I have no problem with KU being 14th best offense according to AA Sports. I don't have a problem with that. But K-State being as good as it was last year on offense, even though Will Howard going to Ohio State makes him now a Heisman contender, you think about the talent he's going to have around him is going to make him a better quarterback. But Avery Johnson is a raw freshman coming in, stealing his spotlight, and now he's going to be the guy for K-State. You don't take a step back after that, in my opinion. And then you're adding more talent around him with Dylan Edwards. Dante Cephas should be really good.
Mm-hmm. Still have Jace Brown.
K-State absolutely has an argument to be a top 25. Where they're at on defense, K-State, again, with an 84 rating, they're tied for 18th. I think that's fair. I have no problem with that. Even if they were, like, just outside the top 25, because they still have – I think they have a little bit more to prove on defense, but they're still well coached and has plenty of talent returning from last year's team. Yeah, they should absolutely be a top 25 team, but I wouldn't have had a problem if they were, like, 25 to 30 or something like that.
Right.
But there's no receiving votes on this list. It's just a top 25.
I'll be interested to see where they rate team speed at for K-State, because that's going to be a fast team this year with Avery and Dylan Edwards. Whew.
But Colorado, EA Sports and Vegas are absolutely not on the same page on this.
No.
EA has both. When you're a top 25 team on offense and defense, you're a contender for your conference.
Right.
To win it. Well, Vegas has Colorado at plus 3,000 odds to win the conference. That's 11th best. So they're not on the same page. They did not consult with each other about odds or rankings. Colorado is not the only issue. I mean, you remember Clemson last year. Clemson was not very good on offense either.
No.
They weren't Colorado bad. But Clemson standards was not there whatsoever.
And that was even a step back from DJ Ungalele and how bad they were with him at quarterback.
DJ Ukulele? Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Clemson is the 10th best offense.
No.
In this game. I doubt that's the case, especially when they didn't bring anybody out of the transfer portal to Clemson to play offense.
So someone pointed out that where Colorado's offense was and where Clemson's was last year, they were about the same. And yet they both wind up in the top 10 on this.
There's one more I wanted to bring up. Oh, the other one. This was crazy. Crazy. USC. You remember how bad USC's defense was last year? Horrible. Again, not Colorado horrible, but it was really bad.
Yes. In other words, a typical Lincoln Riley team.
104th in the nation, yards allowed. 104th in the nation. Just bad. They were not a good defense. USC has the 14th best defense in this game.
What?
So it looks like USC is going to make a major turnaround on defense this year, according to the game. Now, like I said at the beginning of the segment, this is not going to hurt my feelings about how I feel about the game. I still cannot wait to play. And again, it's just a video game. Like this, it's just a game. But some teams got nerfed, to make the rankings the way they wanted it to. Like they had to, like I saw this earlier as well. Like Ole Miss is going to have a really good offense this year, and like they're listed as 13th, and I still think they're better than just 13th. I think they're top 10, top 5 potentially. Ole Miss is going to be really good this year on offense. Just some of this is a little bit ridiculous, but again, it's a game. I still want to play it really badly.
The only thing I do not love about this game is it's on the next console, and I have the prior generation. I really don't
time to upgrade.
I really don't want to upgrade. I really don't want to upgrade.
I upgraded, and I'm glad I did. Actually, I should say I got the Xbox Series X for Christmas. And I'm very glad my family and my girlfriend got me an Xbox Series X and got me to upgrade.
Are you just
why?
Why?
Because I get to play College Football 25.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. So you're an Xbox guy.
I am.
I grew up as an Xbox guy. I'm now on PlayStation.
I don't like the PS controllers. Not a fan of the controller. I think Xbox has a much better controller.
The one thing I don't like about I guess I shouldn't say I don't dislike it. I kind of like that you can plug the little cord into the console and then into your remote, and you don't have to worry about putting new batteries in and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. With my Xbox controller, I had to change batteries all the time. We ran out.
You can get cords for that.
No.
It just costs you a few bucks.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, I know this is what everybody's really looking forward to hearing. My next 5 on my top 100 TV theme songs of all time, 70 through 66, is after these words.
Your home for K-State sports.
Throwing it upward. Coleman makes the catch at the 5. Touchdown, K-State! Touchdown, K-State! Touchdown, K-State! Touchdown, K-State! It was a broken play! A broken play!
This is The Game on News Radio, KMAN.
I'm going to take the reins on this one today because I had a question pop in my head while I was doing something around the house today. For the first time this summer, I've attached the hose and had to clean some stuff off. So the question is, when you're growing up or even today and you're working with a hose, are you a thumb on the nozzle guy, or did you use an actual hose
Trigger?
Trigger, yeah.
I used a trigger.
As much as possible, used a trigger.
Yeah, because your thumb gets worn out. At least my thumb got worn out.
Because I remember growing up, we had, you basically have two, hose pistols, right?
Sure.
Remember the metal ones where, you could adjust it by the back of it, but the more you squeeze, the powerful the stream was?
Yeah.
And then you had the nozzle that had all the different things on it, like the mist, the flat, the shower, whatever.
Right.
Those were actually pretty cheap, and they were typically plastic. With the older ones were metal, and they were sturdy. They were really good.
I got a really basic question, actually.
Go ahead.
This is a really basic one. What do you go first with when you pour yourself a bowl of cereal? Milk first or cereal first?
Cereal first.
Wait, who goes milk first?
Some people like milk first. I go cereal first.
That's weird.
That's what I thought the first time I heard that. But some people like milk first.
I think when you go milk first and then you pour the cereal, I think the potential splash from the cereal is much harder to control.
I agree.
I think the splash when you go milk second, because you can control how heavy the pour is. You're more under control. Does that make sense?
I've never understood why they would go milk first, but then I'm sure there's people out there who go, well, how could you possibly go with cereal first?
Man, and I don't know what, going back to the hose thing, for whatever reason, when your dad would go with just the thumb of the nozzle and just could get it done perfectly, for some reason, I was like a great influence. You really looked up to the guy when the dad could pull off the thumb on the nozzle and it just
spray
could
everybody.
shoot and oh my gosh. All right, let's wrap her up. What's tomorrow, Friday?
Tomorrow is Friday.
We'll bring you a couple hours tomorrow for Troy. AJ, Mitch, go Cats.